emergency. Our challenge is to learn the show, so everybody knows where they're at.
To be honest, I've never been in a production that moved this quickly.
It's a hot mess.
This process that Jillina has of putting together an entire show in just over a week is different for me.
This whole show's an emergency.
So how is this all going to come together in under a week? It's quite a feat. It's a challenge. It's not enough time. I'm about 2 hours off schedule. This is the first one I've ever done, so it's really I'm kind of gambling. I'm not really sure how it'll all come together.
It's a little rough right now.
Everyone is trying really hard. Granted, some people, you know, forget a turn, forget an arm here and there.
I feel a little clumsy because there are so much steps and I make a lot of mistakes, but I will get there.
I don't know how this show is going to come together because I was just finding out I was in numbers that I didn't even know existed yet.
Craziness.
Everyone seems to be stuck in their own little stress bubble, and sometimes the stress bubbles meet and we share in our in our frightened little way.
Some parts of it look amazing and some parts of it are weak, so we just have to push it together, and I hope we can do it.
Because if we had to put this show on today, it is not ready. We're not there yet.
So for the showtime, it will be good, I guess.
Sort of the way you cram for a test, we're cramming for the show.
I'm not sleeping much. I go home and I sew or I practice. It's just the way it is.
It's fantastic. It's completely inspiring and amazing to watch it all come together. And it's also definitely suspenseful and just one of the hardest things I've ever done.
We're working extremely hard. It's been really great though, to be honest.
And I know there's been some confusion about the costumes and which numbers have which costumes.
All characters, they make their own costumes. I was told at the last second that I have to have an orange costume for the opening and a turquoise costume for the end. And I looked at Jillina and said, what am I gonna do? Dance naked?
If I have never seen you in that costume, I need to see you in that costume.
Oh, too many costumes.
And when you get the costumes the first time, they never fit, and so you have to sew the hooks on to fit you and maybe pad the bra. And
My challenge is to try and stay in my costume for the opening number because my costume is pretty revealing.
so I've had bras come apart in the middle of a show or at the end of a show, and you just kind of have to, you know, play it off and fix it as best as you can.
And people are worried that I'm going to fall out of it anyway. And there's a lot of jumping up and down in the entrance number.
And that's why dress rehearsal is key. You want to make sure that everything's going to stay put and there aren't going to be any costume malfunctions.
Sewing all my hooks and making my costumes fit. My fingers hurt so bad. I wish I had a little gnome to just come and do it for me, but.
Just lots of really fast costume changes that you're not sure you're gonna get on stage on time.
You know, yesterday we just received another of our costumes and so we barely have time. I mean, the last thing you want to do after rehearsing all day is go home and sew.
So we're down the street at a bigger dance studio because we've grown out of my own dance studio, and we're doing our dress rehearsal and we're filming the show tomorrow. So yesterday was a pretty good tech rehearsal, a little bit of a hot mess here and there.
Jillina has maintained a very positive mood. I've worked with other directors who, when the stress really comes on, you know it and you don't want to get in their way, but I haven't noticed that with her yet.
Today's run-through didn't look too promising to me whatsoever.
Guys, we're out of time. I want to see it and we have to move on.
Be a little bit behind, but we're gonna make it. It's not, we don't have any choice.
It will come together. We will be there. We'll get there. We're just not there yet.
Show's a hot mess.
911 Bellydance.